we go, take two, because I'm retarded and don't know how to push the record button. Another episode of XY on the Fly.
All right, Fly fans, we got a special guest with us today, and we're going to try, once again, like we said, we're here to not only help ourselves, try to help you guys out, let you learn about something. If you're just in your hometown or you're lost, flailing your arms in the waves of water, feel like you're drowning, we're going to turn you on to something today that just might help you out. You just never know.
Yeah, drugs.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
We have a big drug dealer with us today. No, this is better than drugs. This is better than drugs. We got Christian here with us today, and he's my adopted son. So we're gonna help you guys out today. And remember, we want you to help us out. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers. We got the silver we're gonna give away. Get your friend, show this stuff to your friends. Get them to join. Of course, with today's episode, you might want to show it to your friends because, like I said, this is some good stuff. But before we jump into that, you remember when that episode back a while ago when I said they need to start doing blood tests again for marriages because of all these baby mamas and people going to end up marrying the half brothers and half sisters?
Yeah.
In Iceland, they have an app so that you don't end up hooking up with your cousin.
Nice.
That is a fact. That is true. That is not made up.
Yes, because everything on the internet is true.
This is...
That app could be lying to you.
No, this is from factual things, not from an app. There is an app in Iceland.
That's what I'm saying. Apps can be hacked, okay?
This isn't an app.
You just said an app was made in Iceland. Apps can be hacked.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Apps can be hacked.
You got to tell them slower, man. If you don't tell them slow, I'm not going to catch on. Apps can be hacked. You could end up sleeping with your cousin in Iceland.
Just go do the real thing and get stuck with a needle. Get a blood test done. And, yeah.
Make sure there isn't your half-sister, half-brother, or your cousin.
So, yeah, because that's nasty. Well, I also need to point out the elephant in the room. I'm sure a lot of you are smart enough. You're looking at us right now, and you're going, all right, there's 3 of you and only 2 microphones. But there's one hanging up on the wall behind me. And I left that there as a haunting reminder that I'm too stupid to use this app here. Not app, but software. And it's not just me. I called, well, wow, I'm making it sound like I'm calling the people that I called stupid or retarded.
Well,
they're not.
They can't
but
see
I
it.
feel retarded. Yeah, I called a few people. Even used Google. Couldn't get it to work. So that's going to be my homework for the next week or so.
Yeah.
I hate homework. It's already giving me a headache.
Don't let it give you a headache, man. Just take it as one step at a time.
It's giving me a headache. It was a joke. I'm not. I'm fine.
Okay.
You know, homework. I hate
I
school.
never know with you, man.
I hate school. I don't
You
like.
mentioned headache. That's what shows you have a caring father because you mention headaches and automatically I think he's getting a migraine.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
just like me, if I say my ass is hurting, you should say, oh, he's having stomach problems.
Oh, better that than a migraine. I was thinking about that the other day, just so you know. I had a bathroom incident yesterday. It was rough. And the whole time I was in there, I was like, you know what? I'd take this any day over a migraine. And it was bad. It was bad. And I was still like, thank you, God, for not letting me get a migraine.
I'll agree. I'll agree. Because I've only had one thing that I think I could relate to a migraine, and it was horrible. I actually thought if I picked up a gun and shot myself in the head, that it would get rid of the pain. That it wouldn't kill me.
Yeah.
It would just get rid of the pain. And that's crazy.
Yeah. And then when you think about thoughts like that, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clear your mind of all thoughts.
Fly fans, I'm going to hand this microphone to Mr. Christian, but I'm going to ask him this question, and he'll answer this right away. If you're drowning and you feel like you got nowhere to turn, and you're like, how can I make money in this life without going to college?
OnlyFans. There you have it.
Yes, OnlyFans. Which, by the way, he has been to college, but his job that he does, he did not go to college for, but he did have to do schooling. Christian, tell them what you are and what you do.
Okay, yeah, my name is Christian. So this kind of goes back to like a year and a half, and I was sitting in my house, and I was talking to God, and I was like, Lord, do I go get back into school? I was going for project management, and I just didn't know what I was going to do. I had already gotten a couple of years out of the way, and I met somebody that introduced me to this career path as a independent insurance adjuster. And I'm going to be honest, it took me a second because I kind of drug my feet at first. I really did. It didn't excite me at first. It really didn't. And so as I got my studies out of the way, I got licensed, I got certified and all that. And my first, they call it deployment, was to Little Rock. And so it's new, but I didn't honestly believe. It was hard for me to believe the kind of money that can be made. I mean, because when you hear about it, you just don't really think about that. And it's not selling insurance. So some people get that confused. What you do is you estimate it. For those who aren't familiar, you estimate the damages.
So you're the reason my insurance is so high. Yeah, I see your house blew down. We're just going to give you $10,000. We're going to charge this other guy that's paying for his insurance, so it'll pay for that.
So what adjusters do? We try to be as accurate as possible. So we go in and honestly, some people, and this is way too common, where the contractor tells the insured, like, hey, you need a all new roof. Your roof is destroyed. And then I'm the bad guy because I get up there, I take my photos and take my notes. It's a good looking roof up there,
So when you go to schooling, like they send you to schooling for this? Like it's a
So it's not like a schooling per se, but it's kind of an online training. It's kind of an online training, and that's how you get certified.
So they teach you how to look at roofs?
They actually teach you mostly like policy stuff and different like boring things that you need to know, but really most of the things that you really need to know you're going to learn on as you're working the career.
So how do you know those roofs aren't messed up? The contractor's the one who's up there all the time building those roofs. How do you know?
Well, when you go up, that's the contract.
I'm playing the devil's advocate over here.
Yeah. The contractor, they always have an incentive to try to push for a new roof and stuff like that, and a lot of times it does need a new roof, but that's why it's always good for an insured to have their own estimate, to have their own contractor look at things, because what the insurance company will do is they'll go and compare. They'll look at the adjuster's estimate and they'll look at the contractor's estimate. And sometimes they'll go with the contractors because and I don't want to say any like specific names, but they want to make the customer happy. They do. And so a lot of times they'll side with the customer, even if it, they just want to make the customer.
Even if I have to pay more for it.
I don't know as much on that end, just because that's kind of like the agent. The agent will deal more with that kind of stuff, because really my job is just to estimate the damages and make sure they get paid.
So so are you like contracted to like all the insurance companies, or do you work for a specific one?
So as an independent adjuster, you can work for multiples. You can, but
okay.
you got to be certified with that insurance company. There's a specific one that I'm with, and I won't say names, but you as independent, you can be be certified with multiple different ones, and that's what's neat is you can be you can work with different companies, and
you're your own boss.
You pretty much are. Of course, you have someone to answer to because there's people obviously above you. You know, you don't just call all the shots, but you do have that feeling of being your own boss because you do is, you know, you're taking care of what you know you need to take care of, and you know, you're the adjuster. You pay them what they're, you know, supposed to be paid, and of course, at a certain amount of money, it's got to be approved on the back end and stuff like that. But it's one of those careers that you don't hear about just randomly. It's one of those careers that you don't, you know, you don't grow up and think I want to be an insurance adjuster. It's you meet somebody who's
yeah, because if you were, you know, teenager kid or whatever, what do you want to be? I want to be an insurance adjuster. I'd guarantee you, if I was a teenager, I'd be like, adjust these nuts.
Adjust these nuts. Yep. Yeah.
That's what I would say to you. So
yeah.
Tell them how long the schooling did take you, the training and everything you did.
So it took me, I would say, about 6 months. I would say about 6 months, but it can be done sooner than that.
And how much did that cost?
You know, you kind of put me on the spot with that because looking back,
cost him everything.
It's not expensive at all. I'm trying to think. I went through a certain adjuster firm. I want to say like $300. I want to say $300 or $400.
That's it.
I want to say $300 or $400. Yeah. Now, of course, there's more investments you need, like a roof rack or you know, a ladder. You know, you need some certain tools. Mostly like a laser pointer. You know, tape measure. You know, a roof pitch gauge. A vehicle, you know, preferably one with good gas mileage. But yeah, it's very rewarding, and I mean it's one of those careers that you don't have to work 52 weeks a year. I mean, a lot of people will go on the hurricane deployments and not work for months and months after. So but it's a lot of work when you're doing it.
He's going to tell you, they go on the hurricane deployments and don't work for months and months after, not because they can't get the work, but because they don't have to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different than my situation, though. I go days without working sometimes.
Really?
It's not because I want to. It's because it's just what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm able to afford life. But I don't afford it as nicely as, you know, insurance adjusters.
Well, and I will say though, there's sacrifice with this though, because
oh yeah, you're not going to convince me. I've already been on the road away from family. It sucks. It blows.
Yeah.
So there's the con.
Well, you can be gone for my last one, and I'm going to be totally frank with you guys. Not like I've been doing it for years.
Your name was
years.
Christian. That's weird.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, Frank. Yeah.
Christian.
Right.
Slow
yeah,
down.
that one went over my head. What I'll be honest. You know, Little Rock was my first. That was my first. My first go around with this. And I tell you what, they throw so much at you. It's unbelievable. In fact, the first couple of weeks, you'll be hit with what feels like a little bit of a depression because you're like, what in the heck did I
so it's like metaphorical things that they throw at you. I was going to say, it looks like you dodged everything. Your face looks good.
Well, I've healed up since then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, lots of ice. and so it's the things that they throw at you that you don't you have no idea about before you even start. It's not things that you learn about in, you know, training or anything of that. I mean, it's the software behind it. There's a particular company that's known for that. I won't say it, but they just say it.
No, you should say it. We don't have enough viewers. Maybe it'll bring some hot sauce in here.
They just make it so complicated. But but the cool thing about that is that
Is it USA? Blink twice if it is.
no. But if the cool thing about it is if they know that you've worked with this company, other insurance companies they want that because they know what you go through. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend anyone at least just look into it. Super rewarding. It'll definitely stimulate your brain for sure, especially early on.
And it will stimulate your pockets. But tell them when you first got to Little Rock and everything's being thrown at you, it's scary, but there are people to help you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it depends what firm you're with. But what I noticed is there's so many people around you that seem to be so willing to help. I was lucky to have a really good trainer. They call them ISCEs. But we were kind of the last ones down there in Little Rock. So our training actually was not ideal. What helped me was asking a lot of questions and taking a lot of notes. Because if you're not comfortable asking questions, and if you aren't disciplined enough to sit and take notes and really want to learn,
See, that's how I know that job's not for me. Because I ask a lot of questions, but then I'm like, it's all up here, baby.
yeah.
Then I walk away and I'm like,
what did I just learn?
What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so yeah, it's overwhelming, but you'll get through it. It's calm after the storm.
The reason we have this guest here today, Fly fans, is because he's at my house. And not only that, but we want to offer you guys things that you just don't think of, haven't thought about, like silver if you get us up to 200 subscribers. And I want you to know, what's the median range, salary range for an insurance adjuster?
So
that depends on you.
It does. It depends if you're willing to be on a particular deployment. And I don't like that word deployment, but that's what they call it. Yeah. It depends how long you're on a particular deployment, and if you decide to go and stay home for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or 2 months.
I guess it also depends on how angry God gets over the year.
True. Yeah. That too. I would say if you spend, I'll just go ahead and say this. The last manager I had, for my more recent deployment.
Here, I got a fun way for you to do this. All right, how long were you out for?
Oh, this last one?
Yeah, sure. Let's just go with it.
Little Rock.
Oh,
Little Rock. Sure.
7 weeks.
7 weeks.
It was me and one other guy were the last ones.
All right, so if you showed up like right after you got done with that, and I said, hey, let's go look at motorcycles, and by look I mean let's go buy one, would you be like, all right, or let me go out on another deployment real quick? Yeah, not that you would buy it, but like if I was like, let's go buy one, would you be like, I got to go out on another deployment, or would you be like, yeah, let's go?
To be honest, like for me, since I'm just now getting started,
yeah,
I wouldn't want to because
No, but
could you?
Yeah, could you? Yeah, that's all we need to know.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
So
absolutely. Yeah,
start working on that license.
Yeah, for sure. It's but
you've rode motorcycles, right? You used to have one.
Did you used to have a motorcycle?
I had a dirt bike.
That's a different.
But it was a
ballgame.
125.
That's different.
Still.
Yeah. But
It's different though. The way I hate dirt bikes, can't stand them.
But you
can't
asked,
sit them, stand them, whatever. I don't like how high up you sit. I feel like your center of gravity is just way off.
Yeah, it's different.
But anyway,
We're kind of getting off topic, but you know what motorcycle I really, what's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
No, he's Callum von Moger.
I have no idea.
You probably don't know. Okay, he's got this motorcycle. He's kind of in the bodybuilding community, but the motorcycle it's not the high handlebars,
Right.
but they're lower, but it's a Harley.
Are you talking about is it the FXDR or something? FDXR or something? It's like a cross between a sports bike and a cruiser.
Yeah,
It looks real.
exactly.
Or is it a V-Rod?
I think it's what you said a second ago. It's
FXDR or something like that?
I think it's the cross between, a sport bike and just a cruiser. Yeah.
You got your phone right there. You should look it up.
Okay, I'm going to bring you back because...
No, because I want to know what bike
yeah,
he's
we'll
talking
get to
about.
that. I'll look that up. But Fly Fans, insurance adjuster. Yes, it's high pressure and it's hard work.
Which means we just lost half the followers. Nobody wants to do that. Well, no, I'm saying if you want our subscribers to grow, if you want this community to get bigger, you got to stop talking about hard work and dedication. Stop doing that. Because as soon as you mention that, they're like, well, I'm out.
I'm going to the liberal side.
I will say, though, David Goggins, he pulled that off, though.
See, I don't even know who that is. Maybe I do. Why are you looking at me like that?
He's all over YouTube. The black guy who was 300 pounds, and he said, I'm getting in shape, and he became a Navy SEAL, and he is the baddest man on the planet. That's what Joe Rogan calls him. He does 120-something mile races on foot.
How else would you do?
Well, a race you could think in a car or on a motorcycle. 120 miles.
Yeah.
David
For
Goggins,
what?
you don't know who he is?
No, maybe.
Embrace the suck.
No, don't know.
Embrace the suck. That comes from David Goggins. And, yeah, man. And you know what he recently said, since you brought him up? It's easy to be great in this day and age because everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, David speaks some wise words. But back to adjusting, you asked me, you said the median range. And, of course, it depends how much you're willing to be out on the road. But I'll tell you this. The manager, one of the managers we had, which they're not bosses per se, but they just kind of, you have to have kind of like a headquarters during the deployment where you have a little bit of support and stuff like that. She said, if you want to make $80,000 in 2 months, you're going to have some nights where you're up a little late. And when she said, and she drives a brand new truck, she doesn't have to be, she doesn't have to be out on the road, now, and she's making less as a manager, because she doesn't really need to. 80,000 in 2 months. I know, there was a guy, one of the adjusters was telling me about someone he knows that was on a hurricane deployment for 2 or 3 months and came home with $500,000. So I mean, but I want to be clear.
We're here to help you, Fly.
I'm going to be clear. This is you got to be disciplined. You have to be organized. You have to be willing to stay up. I mean, you're not doing that, and
It's also the type of job where if you have a rope in your car, it starts looking real enticing.
It can, yeah. I mean, I haven't experienced that because just being new in it. But there's moments where it's like I don't want to do this right now. Like but you don't have a boss hanging over your shoulder. You don't have HR. I mean, it's just. You really do kind of feel like you're on your own. You have a portable Wi-Fi. You can work in your car. You can take your work anywhere pretty much. I mean, of course you show up to your inspections, and when you're done, you go and upload your photos, you upload your notes.
See, I couldn't have that job though, because if I'm talking to a customer or whatever, my term of language is still military. How's the roof looking? That roof can suck a dick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. And a lot of times the roofs can go do that. Yeah, because I mean they suck. But yeah, it's also it's cool and it's a good feeling to be able to give people a lot of money for what they just went through, and you make the payment to them. You do. You go in your system and you enter the numbers and you pay them. It's that's all on you. That means don't fuck up the numbers, and because it's very detail oriented. You got to focus and pay attention, and don't have someone else's claim open when you're working with somebody else's claim. Yeah.
Personal experience or somebody you know?
I may plead the fifth. No. It's definitely easy to accidentally enter in the wrong notes in the system, which isn't like, it's not a...
Yeah, I'm not judging you. You should see some of the texts I send sometimes. That's not what I said.
Yeah, well, the thing is like they have so much, like they want everybody to know what's going on with this person's claim. So you have to be, pretty good at
You got to be detailed.
Before I started, I thought you had to be a little bit more detailed than you have to be, but you need to be detailed enough where they know what's going on, but they don't want to be reading books. They don't want to be reading entire book pages worth of stuff.
So it could be like, storm came, hail fell, roof damaged, payout this much. That's pretty explanatory.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more into it.
More than that? All right, then I'm out.
A little bit more into it, but you got to label the photos. So if you take 85 photos, you got to know. But see, even on the photos, you don't have to be super detailed. Just tell them what they're looking at. Damaged shingle, damaged gutter. Yeah.
Get real friendly with it.
Yeah. I'm glad I shaved. Yes. They're freaking sick.
What is that? The FXDR? Okay, yeah. When I had my Kawasaki Vulcan, I went on a Hart drive ride thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really fun, even though we got poured on like the entire time. But before we left on the ride, the meetup was at Harley Davidson, and there was a salesman there who tried so hard to get me to trade in my Vulcan and get one of those.
Yeah.
But I'm not paying that much money for a motorcycle. It's just not happening.
What are those probably running? 50? 45?
No. When I was looking at
20.
the one that I was looking at on the floor that they had, it was 23.
Okay.
And I'm not
And
paying
is that like a high end?
I mean, for me, it's high end.
Well, I mean, I don't know what motorcycles go for.
So I bought mine brand new, 2020, for $12,500.
Okay.
35,000.
So see, the one I was looking at was a good deal.
Yeah.
You can sell it now for more.
I
Yeah.
wonder what was wrong with it.
I'm not gonna lie. With the Paul knows about some of the shoulder problems I've had, but when I see those motorcycles, all I can think about is, man, my shoulder getting out of place. Just holding my arms out like that for freaking hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So
Got anything else to tell us about that insurance adjusting?
do you ever get customers like when you get there? Like, do you ever get people who act like you're the problem?
It depends, because if you're told you don't want to go in a back and forth with the contractor and stuff like that because you can make things complicated. I would. There's times where you have to tell them, like, if they're asking, what's wrong, you don't want to really go into detail while you're there. You just let them know, hey, I got my pictures, I took my notes, I'm going to do my estimate, and then you'll give them a call. You don't go into, you definitely don't talk about a roof replacement or not a roof replacement. That is to be determined when you do your estimate and when any of that is approved. Because if you tell the customer they're getting a new roof, your superiors aren't going to be very happy with you, and neither is the customer when you have to go back and say, I wasn't totally accurate on that answer for you. So it's best to kind of keep your mouth shut as much as you can and just let them know that you're taking your note. You've taken your notes. You've noted.
See, that's where you play it cool, though. Like, if you did make that mistake, oh yeah, you're getting a new roof, and then it doesn't happen. You say, no, I said you had dew on your roof.
Yeah.
I don't know where you got new from, but I said dew.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, I will remember that. If I ever slip up, I'm gonna remember that one for sure. Another thing is, on my more recent deployment, these are steep roofs, if you're afraid of heights, which I actually am afraid of heights, but you do get past it. But it's hard.
I'd argue that.
Well, on like
Chris recently found out he's afraid of heights.
you did.
Yeah. I mean, I still did what I was doing, but yeah, I hated every second of it.
What were you doing?
There's a what's it called? Fritz's Adventures in Branson. It's awesome, but I also I did it with Drew, and he was a champion at it. Absolutely killed it. And the whole time I was like, I absolutely hate this. And I had harness and cables, and you probably don't have that when you're up on the roof, do you?
That's what I was gonna get into is, you can get rope and harness certified. And so I bought it's called a goat assist. It's okay. It's okay. But I would feel a lot better with a rope and harness. I think they call it the Ridge Pro. And you just attach your rope and harness to the Ridge Pro. There's a wheel on the Ridge Pro. You push it all the way up to the ridge of the roof, and you flip it over, and your rope and everything's attached to it, and you're pretty much 100% safe. I mean, you can walk all over that roof. I think it can hold hundreds and hundreds of pounds.
When you,
yeah,
I weigh 225. Well, it's not working out too well.
You have to lose about 25 pounds.
Not happening.
So
not happening.
But I would definitely recommend getting rope and harness certified. And having that equipment just in case you do get sent to an area that you will need to be on steep roofs. The goat assist it's not bad, but when you're talking about a 14 pitch roof, which is nearly straight up, there's not, because you got to do your test squares. You got to do your test squares. And then you circle how many hail hits you have in the test square. And that's not super easy to do on a 14 pitch when you're holding onto that hook. There's these things called cougar paws. They're wonderful. They're great. Not so much on 14 pitch. You're still slipping a little bit. So
just a bunch of women sliding off of roofs, cougar paws.
Yeah, essentially.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's one of those things where you sacrifice being away from home, but you know what? That's why it's called being smart with your money. So then you can go and build some passive income. From there's a lot of adjusters that just want to just spend all their money, and then they just go back out and they're okay, but why? You know what I mean? Like, why not invest in something that you can kind of build, make your money make you money.
Yeah.
Well, because not everybody's smart like you. Like me, I'd just be buying motorcycles left and right. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's tempting.
What do you have to do? How do you become harness and rope qualified?
That's a good question.
You have to take the class.
There's different places that have those courses.
Just go to Fritz's Adventure. You got to go through the whole thing.
As far as I know, there's a place in Texas. I know I heard about that one when I was in Allen. But you got to find a place that holds that. But
you should say when I was staying at Allen, not when you were in Allen. That's weird. It's disgusting.
That's true.
Choose your words more wisely.
Yeah. When I was inside of Allen.
Yeah, there you go. That's even better.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
But just look up places that are.
Was it warm? I just got to know.
Cold, surprisingly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my last one. I'm going.
How much does a rope and harness course cost?
He
doesn't know. He hasn't taken it.
I haven't taken it yet. But I would say probably a few hundred. I would say probably a few $100s. It depends probably where you go.
That's weird. Fritz's gave me the whole rundown. It shows you how to put it on, tighten it up. What? That was 60. It was 60 a person. We spent 6 hours there. That's how we did it. $10 an hour.
I will say this. From my experience, it is not a requirement to be rope and harness certified. They just want you to be willing to get up there, whatever you got to do. You take the risk. If you don't have a rope and harness, well, then you get up there without a rope and harness.
Well, they probably want you to take the class because then you have people like me who would be throwing the rope over the roof and duct taping it to the other side of the house.
Duct taping it, yeah.
And just pulling myself up.
Yeah.
Duct tape's not going to hold.
Well, in that case, I would go with the Gorilla Tape.
Gorilla Tape?
Yeah, Gorilla Tape.
But in the heat, doesn't hold up well. I should know. My garage door, it's a problem.
Well, then you just got to schedule your appointments for the nighttime.
That's fair. It's fair. Might be hard to see what's going on though.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta set up spotlights and everything. No, but I will say they want you to be safe. If there's a roof that is clearly like you're gonna need either a goat hook or some assistance. That they don't want you risking your life.
You're not getting up there, which means you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Threw that in for the goat hook.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
Yeah, I mean, but it's again, they don't say, from my experience, it's not like a must, but it does make you look better. And plus it's just, why not do something that's going to make you better as an adjuster and also safer?
And then you do get up there to look better, and then you wind up looking worse.
There is that possibility, yeah.
Because you fall off. For anybody who didn't get that, you fall off.
Yeah, you fall off, and I mean, so I don't know the policies behind this, but maybe you get like a little blow up bed down there, maybe get an air up mattress or something. That might help out. I definitely have really thought about wishing there was one of those under the roof a couple of roofs that I've been on.
You know what you should get? You should get one of those full suited motorcycle suits that has the airbags in it.
So when I hit the ground,
when you fall off the roof, the airbag deploys.
When it deploys, will it make me fly back up on the roof?
No, it won't do that, but it'll absorb most of the impact.
Most of the impact?
Most. Not all of it, but most.
Yeah. Do those actually exist? Do they actually have that?
Yeah.
They really do?
Yeah.
Wow. I would be interested to see.
How do you think those MotoGP racers, when they get in accidents, how do you think they just get up and...
Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, my jacket that I have is capable of having one of those airbags, but when I looked it up, the cheapest airbag, they have two different versions for my jacket. The cheapest one was $800, and I was like, one-time use? I don't think it's worth it.
Honestly,
yeah.
If you get in the market, man, I would think it'd be worth it just to have that,
Yeah. Maybe.
But you're kind of a little bit of a daredevil with the motorcycles, aren't you? A little bit.
I mean, I don't do wheelies, if that's what you're asking. I did one wheelie one time, and that was enough.
Yeah.
Maybe once I pay the bike off and I have a second bike, maybe I'll start.
Did you almost go too
Oh, no.
far back?
I knew exactly what I was doing. Like I looked like a if you would have seen what I did, you would have been like, that dude does wheelies all the time. But in my head, what was happening inside my helmet was, oh shit.
Yeah.
But I kept it real cool, calm and collected, and put it back down, and I was like, yeah, I should probably make sure I always shift. Because I thought I shifted, but I didn't shift.
Yeah.
So it was still in first, and I got back on it, and I was like, yeah.
I don't know how the people do it, the crazy wheelies and all sorts of crazy tricks they do. I don't know.
Different sprocket sizes. That's how they do it.
Yeah, and I think that when you get so comfortable doing something, it's almost like second nature. Yeah. Like if you started doing more wheelies.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would get it down, but it's getting to the second nature.
Yeah.
I don't want to drop my bike. I still owe on it, and it's the only bike I have. So I don't want to be without a bike.
Yeah. Well, you're thinking with your brain. You're not thinking with just the adrenaline.
Just wait. I get a second bike. I'm thinking with my nuts.
Yeah.
The balls are gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
Huge.
you get some freaking airbags for them, so when you fall off, you don't bust your nuts, man. Yeah.
Where we at?
Oh yeah, this was a good one.
All right, Fly fans, listen, we had Christian here with you today because we want to help you guys and girls. There's plenty of girls who are insurance adjusters. Are there more guys or girls, or is it 50-50?
This is a man's world. What do you think?
You know,
I'm kidding.
I would say from what I've seen, gosh, it can
I'd say
actually
there's
be
probably more females.
It can actually almost be 50-50.
Really?
Almost, yeah. It's not just a man's career. There's definitely females doing this.
See, I was gonna say that I would think that there would be more females. I feel like most women pay more attention to detail.
I mean,
guys might know how to fix stuff, but when it comes
Yeah.
to like the minute details, I feel like women are more on top of that. That's
Yeah.
just me personally. That's how I feel about it.
yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, I'm detail oriented. So I mean, that's why when I first started, it took me a little bit longer on my inspections because I'm like, looking at every little thing. But I think that's probably a little bit of the OCD in me. But if you're a female, you're good. And honestly, even if you're a little bit overweight, I recommend you lose the weight anyway for your health. But if you're there's people overweight doing this too. There are. They're getting up there on those roofs, and so yeah.
Do the people who are overweight cause more damage to the roof?
There is that possibility. There is that possibility. I know. It depends how weak that roof is. I know on my most recent deployment, this guy wasn't even overweight. But yeah, he fell through the ceiling. Yeah, he fell through the ceiling. He was okay. Yeah, and thankfully for him, the customer was really nice about it. Want to make sure he was okay. But yeah, that's all I got.
Could you imagine that falling through a roof and then somebody's like, "You're gonna pay for that, right?" That'd be insane.
All right, Fly fans, insurance adjuster. Look into it if you're just spinning your wheels and you feel like you're DIW. That's a Navy term for dead in the water. And remember, Fly fans, 200 subscribers. Subscribe to this channel. Give us the thumbs up. If you don't like us, give us the thumbs down. But if you do that, you still have to subscribe. And we got one more thing.
I want to say one more thing, and I know we're closing out. No, we're not sponsored by them. They're not sponsored by them. But the company MoCat, 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 they're from what I've heard, I didn't go through them, but one of the best to get you prepared as an adjuster. They get you through the rope and harness course as well, and it's expensive. I think you could be looking at like, a couple $1,000. But another thing about going through them is if other firms see you have had their training, that's a huge plus for you to get started. And also they work with other firms and they help you get in. So MoCat, check them out.
Nice.
Thank you, Fly fans. Hope we've done something good for you. Hey, if we help just one person, please let us know in the comments, because we like to hear that kind of stuff, because we are about giving, helping. Peace.
I'm sure after watching that video, you have so many questions, and not just about the insurance job, but this dude right here, he's normal size, I promise.
Perfectly normal.
I don't know what happened. I'm not a videographer, so little did I know, him just sitting back a little ways made him look so tiny. He's normal size.
Normal size.
Promise.
What are you doing? Hey, stop it! Hey, you're messing up here! Come on! Whoa! Whoa! Stop it! Whoa! Hey, this might be a good look for me.